He wasn't the strongest, he wasn't the smartest, he didn't start as a powerful man, but he understood something dangerous. People in fear don't look for truth, they look for someone to blame. Adolf Hitler, a man who didn't offer solutions, he offered an enemy, and millions believed him. First they listened, then they agreed, then they followed. And by the time they realized where it was going, it was already too late. 1889, Austria. A boy with no power, no influence, no future. He didn't dream of war. He didn't dream of control. He wanted to be an artist. Vienna, Art Academy. He applied and got rejected. Then again, rejected. Twice. To the world, it meant nothing. To him, it meant everything. He wasn't accepted. He wasn't recognized. He became nobody. And that's where something began to grow. Not talent, not ambition, but resentment. Then came World War I. Mud, gas, death for millions. It was horror. For him, it gave meaning. For the first time, he belonged somewhere. The war gave him structure, discipline, purpose. And most importantly, it gave him a simple way to see the world. And them, victory or betrayal, Germany loses, but he refuses to accept it. He doesn't look for mistakes in the system. He doesn't look at himself, he looks for someone to blame. And he finds it. The 1920s, Germany is broken, economy collapsing, people losing everything, anger everywhere, and in that moment, a voice appears, not complex, not thoughtful, just loud. He doesn't explain, he accuses, he doesn't ask people to think, he gives them someone to hate, and that feels easier because fear loves simple answers and anger loves a loud voice. He wasn't a magician. He didn't control people with one speech. He used repetition, symbols, rhythm, emotion. He turned politics into performance, and performance into belief. In a crowd, a person stops being an individual. They become part of something larger, and once that happens, you can push them further than they ever imagined. At first they listen, then they repeat, then they defend, and eventually they become part of the machine. 1933, he gains power, not through conquest, not through war, through the system, legally. But almost immediately, he starts to destroy it. Opposition disappears, freedom disappears, voices go silent, fear becomes law. The state no longer protects people. It controls them, watches them, shapes them. And the most dangerous part wasn't that one man had power. It was how many people accepted it. 1939, war. At first, it looks like success, fast victories, countries falling one by one, maps changing too quickly, Europe watches and struggles to keep up. It seems unstoppable, but this is where the fall begins, because power built on fear always needs more. More land, more enemies, more control, and the further it goes, the harder it becomes to stop. 1941, the East. The turning point, cold, distance, resistance, losses. The war slows down. It becomes something else, something brutal, something endless. The system starts to break, but he doesn't stop. He doesn't admit mistakes. He doesn't step back, because a dictator can control people, but not reality. 1945, Berlin, destroyed. Burning, falling apart. The empire collapses. What was built on noise ends in silence. What was promised to last 1,000 years barely survived a decade. He goes underground, into a bunker. No army, no future, no way out. The man who once spoke to millions ends up in a small room, alone. Defeated. Finished. He didn't just lose a war. He lost everything, a country, an army, an idea, and with it, millions of lives. This is the cost of power built on fear. When lies become a system, when hatred becomes a tool, when one man convinces millions to follow him all the way to the end. And the end doesn't look like glory. It doesn't look like victory. It looks like silence, ruins, and emptiness.